We just celebrated 29 years of our country's independence, and I must admit that my enthusiasm for the independence celebrations is waning year after year. It's just been one scandal after another, and our economy is certainly no better off. It's a Rap took to the streets to gauge from society just how we fared as a democracy over the past 29 years.
We are in so much problems that we have that we can't even recall the things that we must be celebrating about in terms of success. Of course, we must celebrate that we have freedom of association. We must celebrate that we have freedom of speech, however limited. We must celebrate that there are some few human rights that we still enjoy here and there. I say few because remember that this continuous police brutality in this country, when you are arrested, you are beaten for no reason. When you present superior logic to people, you are beaten. We are constantly living in shacks that are being demolished every day by the city police and the Namibian police in other towns of the country.
Over the past years, I have observed that we are able to, if you pass, say, grade 12, you are able to get a loan, a study loan, whereby the most disadvantaged people are able to enter universities and make their dream come true.
2004, 2009, somewhere there, I think education was very good because Dr. Abraham Yambo was also trying to push to the limit that the education has to be free. After he has died, everything fell apart.
Over the past years, we have observed that once you graduate again, there is also a stone whereby it's a bit difficult to secure an employment in Namibia due to, of course, competition is tight, and also due to the open economy whereby you have to compete with foreign.
They have to avoid this thing of NSFAF don't have money and so forth. As you can see, a lot of people are dropping out. They are really dropping out. They don't have anything to do. I mean, they don't have transport. They don't have accommodations. They don't have food. So we really need to give a free education to the students.
We are still landless. There is a few young people who had been fortunate enough to have access to land. The housing prices in this country are still high. We are still second to Dubai in the whole world. You look at Windhoek in particular and you ask yourself, what do we have that are contributing factors to this speculative housing prices? And you must understand that the speculators within the market are the general causes of these issues. We're still fighting for our land for agricultural purposes. There are people who are continuously being thrown in the corridors. They lose their animals in the corridors in a free and independent Namibia. When you have somebody who comes into this country under the pretense of an investor getting able to buy 10 farms, when Namibians under the resettlement program are still unable to be addressed and be serviced with this type of land.
So far, on the healthy side, we are very, very good. If you see even the way those days we used to suffer, like for instance from HIV and so forth, you can really see that the government have really done better.
I've seen the apartheid era, but the only thing that has changed for me is that we are at least at the same wavelength with the whites, equal opportunities and so on.
It's really difficult to pick out and say, what is it that is the key issue that we must be celebrating in this country 29 years after independence, when our education system, for example, is just living by, you know. Children are not taught about generational wealth when they are at school. We have no sense of meaning of generational wealth as young black Namibians. In our days at primary school, in our days at high school, even in our days at varsity, we begin to see these things only when you have finished school. The level of unemployment is very high, and it has been consistently growing over the past, say, 7 years or so. But what is it that government is doing to curb these issues? We don't see that. So that is why I continuously to say that it is difficult really, as a young person of the Republic, to say this is what we can celebrate when we celebrate 29 years of independence. This is what we look forward to as we celebrate 29 years of independence, because there is just so many issues that are not resolved for us to be able to jump in that celebratory mood and ensuring that there's something to celebrate.
After independence, everything has gone down the drain. The services that we get from the government, deplorable.
We still have a little gap on something that we really need to do. And then in this issue, I can say it's about the LGBT. Now, I think we really need to try to amend our constitution. I don't know what article it is really, but then the Sodom, I think the gays and these people, they have to be respected.
I celebrate the first and the second, but I don't honestly see any need to celebrate it now. Maybe with the change of government, maybe, but I'm not sure. I don't have no trust in us blacks, to be honest.
On overall, all in one, I think it's a worth celebration.